made that really popular. Um, and it is the movement that's hot right now. But like I said before, to bring the Sixers back into the conversation, if they find a way to make all of these quality bigs work, they find the right combination. Watch how sexy the big man gets again, and how everybody will be emulating, trying to find that one multi-faceted big man with his back to the basket that can pass out of it. If he needs a spot up, he can knock it down. Right. I mean, if you see him beat it almost at 7'1", bringing the ball up and squaring up, he will revolutionize the game all over again. And he has that kind of potential. So, I mean, one thing I love talking hoops. Like I said before, Mark, it's I like it even more, a little more than talking football. This is the time of year. It's been so exciting for me to listen to sports talk radio in this city. And they've been talking nothing but Sixers for the past week. Because the argument and the discussions, the pundits on both sides are so compelling. Do you trade him? Do you trade Okafor?
Once somebody said that, I turned the radio off.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not.
Now it's coming to the thing.
There's
some really good arguments.
I'm not.
You know where I'm at with it, but there are some really good arguments both ways.
I've heard some good arguments.
Now it's creeping in the conversation. Do you maximize and put the bait out there for Embiid? Because you always talk about Okafor is the one that gets you the most. Would you dangle Embiid out there?
Why not?
To the Lakers for the number 2 and D'Angelo Russell?
Not gonna get that. I don't think you're gonna get that.
I don't think so. It's a pipe dream, but I'm just saying.
No, you're not gonna get that high, but you may get a good asset.
I mean, the arguments
cut your loss.
Yeah, it's some compelling arguments. Like June is going to be high drama.
I don't even want to hear it. There are, I know there are.
You don't want to hear it.
I just don't want to hear it because I don't want to fathom the thought.
Exactly.
You don't want to.
I don't want to fathom the thought of Jahlil Okafor.
Okay.
I need to see that. I need to see that.
Well,
I need to see that play itself out because I believe it'll be special. By the time Ball is right and the time he establishes himself, gets a little bit more on the defensive end, he's going to be a problem.
Right.
And I need to see him be a problem for us, not anybody else. I need him to be a problem for us. But I see his upside. I just believe in it. I'm an extreme believer in his upside.
Yeah.
I'll put it like that.
We'll see. I think he's a special player. I think his game. It's hard. I think he's like a.
You're talking about
like I'm talking about Jahlil. I think 20 years ago, definite first ballot material. But I think the way the game is trending, like you said, if they can reverse the trend.
I'm sorry, who you talking about again?
Jahlil Okafor.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
If the game trend, the way that the game is going now, if it can revert back to his skill set, because his skill set doesn't necessarily fit the league or the way the league is projecting out right
7
now.
7 feet always projects in the NBA. It just got to put the right pieces.
There's a whole bunch of NBA cats that are
7 feet.
I agree.
That's 15 and 10.
It's not that he can't even get. And that's fine. But it still may not. It still may not work. Like I don't know.
You can win that. I think you still win because this is the thing. Like I understand what you're talking about, the up-tempo game and this, that, and the other, but he doesn't slow anything up. He can get out on the wing and he can run.
No, he can't.
He's not applauding. He's not Kevin Duckworth. You know what I mean? He can get out on the floor and move. Yeah, he can move. Yeah.
He can.
You saw that Duke. He ran. He facilitated the break a lot at Duke and became a lead
I'm hearing the opposite. Well, because one of the thoughts was that the way that they're constructing the team looks like they're trying to be a running team.
Well,
you put Sargent and you put Noel and you get Simmons, then whoever grabs the board is going to start the break, and then he's going to be left behind.
Well, you know what? When you read between the tea leaves of new GM Brian Colangelo, one of the things that you can interpret from the stuff he's been saying is that off his initial assessment, he doesn't think Nerlens Noel and Okafor can coexist.
Right.
So what that tells me is that something is going down either on draft night, right before the draft, or right around that time. There's going to be one of them's going to get dealt. It's just a matter of what deal is going to be out there, and that's what I'm waiting for. I'm so nervous and waiting on bated breath to see what he does.
Did you hear about what was the team? They said put Noel on. Oh God, what team is that? I can't think of it. They just said imagine Noel on this team.
I think I know what you're talking about with that Lakers trade.
No, it wasn't.
Or a whole other team.
It was another team that you wouldn't even think of. But when they went down the roster, I can't remember a play, and it was like wow, and just allow him to rebound, just allow him to block shots.
Again, he's that same kind of player like Andre Iguodala. When you miscast people. And you put them in the right, the right script and the right role, they shine. Like Andre Iguodala was miscast here for years. Yeah. That's one of the things that always frustrated with the Sixers. They would have these quality players.
Well, they try to make him the number one option.
Yeah, you can't. It's not that. Andre Iguodala was not the alpha male, man. He's an elite role player, just like he's doing in Golden State. Yeah. Like Sir Charles. Not that Sir Charles was miscast. He didn't have the right cast around him. As soon as you put the right cast around him, you saw his greater qualities start to come out. Where, stuff he got criticized for here, it was key.
He was nice when he was with AI for the few time they played together.
Right.
I like him with Allen Iverson, man.
Yeah.
That was all right by me.
Yeah, when he was with
that was all right by me when they both played together. Right. When they played together. Iverson and Iggy played together.
Yeah, it had a chance to be nice. But
I like that little.
They couldn't build up. Bad contracts. They couldn't build up. They couldn't build up. Shout out to Billy King. Shout out to Larry Brown. Shout out to Larry Hughes. My gosh.
I'm excited for the draft myself.
Yeah, it's very excited, man. I mean, I plan on being. Yeah, I got a new tradition, man. Y'all welcome to come, man. We can make it a build destroy, thing. We go down to Xfinity Live, order a bunch of wings and some brews. And
that might work.
But the energy down there, but the energy down there is great for the draft. Yeah. Everybody's got their gear on.
Right.
Like I wore my Iverson jersey down to that shit. I was taking high fives like I just got drafted. They were grabbing my jersey. They were like, "That's the best one. There you go. We need something like that." I was like, "Yeah, it get you hyped up." So I might come for Wilt pieces.
That might work.
That's a good time, man. Yeah. So you have your affinities for Xfinity Live.
I've been down there. That's cool.
Snoop projects Eagles. That's still an Eagles house. Yeah. It's still that house of ill repeats.
Yeah.
It is. You walk in and just
you'll find a new Eagles champion at any moment. Yeah. It's not your kind of house.
Snoop gets sensitive.
Would you rather be at Jerry Jones Barbecue and Grill than what you think?
Cool. Yeah, it's nice. I had a good time.
I'm sure you did.
I was there for you might not want me there. Every time I'm there, they take an L. Wow. So, I was there for last time I was there was Skin Game.
Oh, wow. That's a problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, the night game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I don't know. I mean, the NBA, I don't know. I've never really just been an NBA draft geek.
Right. I'm a geek.
I just think past like this year it's deep, but I think past the first, traditionally past the first 5 is like
again, man. I'm into Shrunus Marchalunas from a 6'5" shooting guard from the Isle of Croatia. He projects well in Euroball. Played well in international play in the Olympics last year. I get off on all. I am a draft NBA geek. I'm watching the 5'9" diminutive guard out of
Towson.
Towson, Eastern Illinois, who lit up the Nike ABC camp and Portsmouth Invitational. He got MVP. I love it. Yeah, I eat it up, man. I eat it up. I love draft. I'm a draft hoop nick. I dig it. So, all right, we delve deeply into the NBA talk. Can we get into the core of this discussion tonight? Our hot button topics.
Sure.
Something I put together, for some topics, and I was randomly picking things for tonight's show, and I sent it out to you guys. But when I looked at it, I saw a cyclical kind of thing, I guess you could say. Let's call this the 3 faces of black mendom in America, just off the top of my head. And we're going to start at the beginning. We're going to tell this tale of black mendom in the United States through 3 different hot button topic stories that come across the newswire that we're going to discuss. And I guess we'll begin the cycle with the relaunching of the Roots Saga. Premiered last night on the History Channel. I watched maybe about 5-10 minutes.
I got it on tape. I'll watch it.
You'll DVR it?
Yeah, I DVR'd it. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay. I'm not really interested in watching the Roots Saga from beginning to end. It's like a 4-night event. You know, I think the story really begs to be redone in a modern take with the technology and everything. They can tell the story more in depth. It's a different perspective. And from what I'm hearing, the reviews are good. It's an all-star cast involved with it. And you know, like the parts that I watched, you can tell with the new cinematography angles and a different take on the story. It really, you know, lent itself positively for the Roots Saga, and I think it'll resonate for another generation again. So, are you interested? Let me ask you first, Mark. Are you interested in watching Roots again?
At some point.
At some point.
Well, David, how about if you paint that question in light of Snoop's comments?
Well, that's what I was going to
allude to.
I want to see how you guys felt about it. Did I say something?
Double G.
Yeah, we're talking about the West Coast guy. Yes, he did. That's why I was asking your guys' opinion about it first. So Snoop did not feel that, you know, the Snoop Saga needed to be redone. Let me read a quote from him, from Snoop, about his take on the Roots being made. Quote unquote, they just want to keep showing the abuse that we took hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But guess what? We're taking the same abuse. Snoop continues. Think about the past. When you all are going to make another effing series about the success of that black folks are having. He wants to know why you're not making more movies about the successes we've had instead of the trials and tribulations, basically. The only success we have is Roots and 12 Years a Slave. Let's create our own SHIT based on today, how we live and how we inspire people today. Black is what's real. Okay, so basically he doesn't like it. He's tired. He said that story's told. He's tired. He wants the more positive tales and the modern successes that we've endured over years, not endured, but that we've put together over years to be spotlighted more. And he said, let's move on past the pain of what happened hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and 12 Years a Slave and Roots. So he's tired of the stories. He wants new stories to be told, success stories. Do you agree?
I'll tell you my piece on that. I disagree. I like what he's saying. I feel where he's coming from. My thing right now, I think that the youth this is something that serves them more than anything. We see the story, we know the story, but it's hard from a context standpoint to make a kid now watch something that was produced in the 70s. Hey, you know, we're all about DVDs and modern.
It doesn't.
Nobody's gonna watch Alex Haley and LeVar Burton.
Right.
You know, nobody wants to see that. But if you modernize it for the kids now, it's clean. You know, high definition. Everything's high def. Exactly. Like you said, Dave, the great cinematography.
Right.
Something small like that, which we really wouldn't necessarily need to be brought in by. That's what's going to pull the kids in.
Right.
And I think this is just something they need to see. It's not so much that we're past it, because anything that's dealing with civil rights in our history never needs to be swept under the rug. We always need to remember, not necessarily to say, oh, see how, you know, white America has treated us, but to understand the rights you have today, and you have an opportunity to make a mark as a black American, as a human being, as a positive human being. It's not necessarily about rehashing it, but just understanding your opportunity now. We're so busy partying and turning up. That's what, to us, if you ask a kid now with the black experience, he can't tell you.
Right.
He can't tell you about the civil rights movement. He can't tell you about why we celebrate Martin Luther King Day. But he'll tell you about some future lyrics. He'll tell you about, you know, Kanye and Kardashian and Black China and all that, and Twitter and Facebook. And he'll tell you about that. But Man, these kids have got to be kept in the light about what happened with African Americans, where our history comes from.
Even something needs to stay relevant.
It needs to stay relevant, David. I believe that.
And
even something just as small as redoing it again now to give them a concept. They may not necessarily tune in attentively to all 4 episodes, but dude, you gotta have parents to say, sit down and watch this. Watch a little bit of this. Just so you understand. I mean, these kids right now have no idea or concept or semblance of the opportunity they have as Americans. You got a black president, but how did Barack Obama get to this point?
Right.
From the things that the civil rights and slavery brought forth to put us in that position. So kids need to have some kind of context, man.
Yeah.
You still have to make it relevant for
what
them
we
now,
had to go through just to get
that's
to
all.
that
That's
point
all. It's not about browbeating or beating us over the head with. You see what they kept doing to us. I mean, nobody likes to watch Rosewood and all. Those are classic movies. Nobody necessarily likes to watch that. But things like Roots that made such a historical impact then, it may not be as prevalent now. But kids and the youth, I think, need to have some content of stuff, things like that, things like Roots and the Selma and all those type of movies, and Run, Jesse, Run. You gotta have some kind of semblance because we're getting so far into the future that the history is getting further and further away. We're moving to the 21st century.
Right.
That history is ancient history to them. Whereas us coming up, it wasn't so long ago in the 60s, and slavery, of course, was many years ago, but things that our parents and our grandparents went through with civil rights, it wasn't so long ago for us.
Right.
We just in the 70s were able to ride buses and go to the suburbs and go to King of Prussia Mall or travel out to Radnor to go to high school. We were just so able to enjoy those things. Not too long ago, 10, 15 years ago, my dad, was, not even so much that, my dad was getting chased at North Catholic High School. Going to school every day, he was getting, ran out of the neighborhood. So those things, it was recent to us. It's ancient history to these kids. So some sort of reminders is important, man.
I think it needs to be a reminder of what we will overcome. And I think it also needs to be a reminder of what we still need to overcome. Because of the struggles, because of the situations like Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin and things like that. And
it's relevant, Dave.
It's relevant. It's relevant. I mean, and to understand that, as much as we've overcome, we still have a whole lot to overcome, a lot more to overcome.
Absolutely.
And just a general perspective on some of the things that go on, some of the mindsets that still exist, why they exist, why we still have some of the problems in the hood and amongst ourselves that we have. Like some of the things they're bringing out. I was doing some background reading on the new rendition that just premiered last night. And some of the things they bring out, like little things, like they really fleshed out how we were as much played a big role in the enslavement of our own people, and they touched on that in the original Roots, but they really flushed it out and brought it to life.
On this one?
Yeah, in this one, that's part of the part that I watched that really caught me for a minute.
You watched prior to them coming to America.
Yeah, in Africa, the things that we did to ourselves, and the things that we still doing to ourselves, they brought that to life. And one of the things that I read, like in the original Roots, one of the things, like in the slave ship, they had a sympathetic ship where the captain felt bad for the slaves. I think it was played by Ed Asner. That was a big role in the original Roots. There's like that. The only reason why they put that in there is so white people wouldn't feel so bad about what they did to us. So they put a sympathetic white person in that was supposed to make them feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like a pity screw. You know what I mean? Like, we'll throw this fictional character
ease the guilt.
into all this pain to ease the white guilt. Exactly. They're like, that didn't happen. That was no sympathy. They just threw that in there. The ABC execs upon the first edit was like, you know what? This is hard for us to watch. Like, I really.
Get that ass on the phone.
This doesn't. Yeah.
Get that.
Rabinowitz and the rest of the production team in. We're gonna throw this character in here, do a rewrite, and put Massa Saul to be sympathetic to such. So that was made up. Another thing they said they're gonna refute in the modern take is this whole jumping over the broom tradition.
Yeah.
That was not something that was. They're saying that's going to come out in some.
It wasn't a source of pride. That
was not a source of pride. That did not come from the slaves.
Right.
That was not a tradition enacted by the slaves. It was instead made up again by the white slave owners.
Right.
Getting passed on to the slaves for them to jump over the room
Sure.
to make them feel more empowered about the marriage,
Okay.
which in reality had no power because the white slave owner could come in the middle of the night and take his wife from him at any point and do what he wanted with her.
Sure.
So they gave that broom jumping thing to try and empower them a little bit, and they refute that in the story.
Right.
Because when Kunti marries, who he married? Kizzy?
Kizzy
was
was
Kizzy's
the daughter. Kizzy was the daughter.
When Kunta got married, in this one, they tried to show them to jump the broom.
Right,
And they're looking at each other like, I don't jump no broom.
Right. And
Foolishness.
Kunta's like, they're mocking us.
like, this
They're
is
mocking
whack.
us. They're mocking us.
They're mocking us. They're
Right,
mocking us. So,
But
you know,
I mean, but even in today's, people still jump the broom.
They still do.
And
but do they know what's
just,
really behind it?
But it's just like the N word. Everyone knows what's behind it.
Did you
but
jump the
we
broom at
still-
your wedding?
No. But everyone.
Did you?
I didn't jump a
But everyone knows what the N word means. But it's still used quite frequently. It's a term of endearment.
Well, they flipped it to
And
a
it's-
term.
Yeah. Well, you take something that was meant to. One thing about African American or Black people to me is that they're the strongest, most resilient people, and I think
on the planet.
when you see roots and you see what they had to endure and see what they go through, these are a lot of our ancestors, and that resiliency and that spirit to live and even just overcoming it. There are people that are there's still slavery today in a lot of countries because they haven't been able to rise up and come out of it and really, I mean, I have some agreements with Snoop. I was watching Underground, which is, I think it's a good show. But
the Underground on
the
WGN.
Underground, yes.
Yeah, that's
But
about the
it just-
Underground Railroad, right?
It's
Loosely based on it, but the basis is the
But it's
Underground.
just about escaping and the plan that they had for escaping. It's good because it's a whole different perspective. It shows how they had to map it out. It's almost like a Prison Break movie.
Executive produced by John Legend.
Yeah, and it's a good series, but it just when I watch it, it makes me mad. When I watched the first Roots as a child, I was going to Albert M. Greenfield Elementary School, which was a biracial school, and I would come into school the next day and I would just look at white people differently. So that's why I was a little
the
reluctant.
fire in your eye.
Yeah, I was a little reluctant.
Everybody did when they watched
to watch it, but I mean, I think what it does is reinforces or makes us think that our history starts at slavery.
Yeah.
And our history doesn't start at
No,
slavery.
it does not.
And
No, it does
I would
not.
like to see, of course, more stories of triumph and tragedy. But I would like to see some things prior to slavery. Some of those stories bring
More
light.
Shaka Zulus.
Yeah, more things
That'd
brought
be
to light
About
about
the power.
just
of
being
yeah.
strong. And I thought, or what I was under the impression was that they had a bigger concentration in this rendition of showing the people before they were brought to America and how they were just normal people, how they were kings and
That's
queens,
the
how
lifestyle.
they were,
The lifestyle.
yeah. So I mean, from that aspect, I would like to see it.
Right. Yeah, but you bring up you talked about that in the portrayals. Now they made another rendition of this. I don't see them rushing to remake Shaka Zulu, like you said, more empowerment story, like Snoop is talking
And
about.
I mean,
I think more would need to be
there
done.
there is a system at hand that works
Of course.
against people.
Against
If you're not
these
in the
kind of
good old,
stories.
if you're not in the good old boy network,
Right.
it works against you.
But that's my whole thing. Like they can make 1 million Holocaust stories that get redone.
How many? I don't see that.
There's quite a few. Like there's like 2 that are out right now that I can't name. They're not like main profile. They're like art house kind of movies.
Okay.
But there's always a plethora of stories about the perseverance of the Holocaust.
Yeah, definitely.
But
But I don't think
and
that
the
those
stories
people
about-
want to. I don't think that they
It's probably painful for them to
want
watch
to
as
see
well.
it like just like we don't want to see it. But to your point, Derek, they have to show the youth because a Jewish American
But
kid,
they're gonna make sure they
a Jewish American, yeah, a Jewish
They're not
American.
gonna let it die.
But here's the difference: large majority of Jewish kids go to Jewish schools, so they don't have to weed through the red tape and the politics.
It's
part of
you
your
come to black schools too.
Yeah,
but they're not really black schools.
Right. They're not. The curriculum's not set. The founders aren't set.
It's just called George Washington Carver, but it's not.
Yeah, Malcolm X House.
Yeah, exactly. When they go to yeshiva or whatever, it's really a Jewish.
Now, if you go somewhere like Imhotep,
with Jewish curriculum,
you can go to like Imhotep
there
or
you
some
go.
things like that that are more or Afrocentric. You know, I mean that's fine, man. But
Lotus Academy.
I mean, I have mixed feelings. I think it should be shown. I think it needs to be freshened up for the youth to see.
I agree.
They need to get that.
I see
They need to get that
I see his
ivory.
point.
Mm-hmm.
I see
They
his
need to
I see his
get.
point.
They need to
valid.
get that anger.
Valid.
They need to get that anger, but that anger has to be directed in the right, and it has to be received in the right way. You can't just be angry and then just still want to be on welfare. You still just want to be on the block.
The same
blah,
bull is
blah.
persistent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They be like,
do
the
something
man,
about
the
it.
man
Do
got
something.
his, the man got his foot on my
That's,
neck.
you know,
It's
that's where you starting to get a
Let me
whole
stop.
new can of
Yeah.
worms.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what starting to
let's-
get my ire up.
before we
That's
open
my
it up.
whole angst with the whole Black Lives
And I
Movement
agree.
and all these
I want you
civil
to come
rights
back.
and these Fergusons and these.
Derek, I want you. I know you're about to
it
go
really
off.
gets me on levels.
You got to go off. But hold on, because we got to take a station identity. This is WPEB 88.1 FM on the dial, broadcasting in Southwest and West Philly. Also streaming live on Ustream.tv and the Ustream app. Search Build Destroy Radio. The number to dial if you'd like to talk to us is 215-472-0882. We invite you to hit us up on Facebook, on Mark, Derek, or I pages, so we can read your responses on air to talk about what we're talking about. When we come back, Derek's gonna go off like the real Roxanne, and he's gonna expound on this discussion. We're also gonna pull up to the corner, the community corner, for some new developments happening in South and Southwest Philly. And again, this is Build Destroy Radio. We're gonna make the song cry like Jay-Z said, and we'll be back right after this. Build Destroy.
What, yeah, other topics too, or?
Yeah.
What?
The second thing I was gonna talk about, that shooting at the T.I. concert, how it ties into the mentality of that's why I wanted to jump.
Oh, definitely.
I'm gonna let you go
Okay.
over there and come in with that, about that person, about that mentality. They're holding Troy Ave on attempted murder charges. Yeah, they got his ass
Who
out the
is
house.
Troy Ave?
You never heard of Troy Ave?
Yep,
New York rapper, man, trying to bring New York hip hop thing.
Is he
You know,
Joe Gov? I never even heard the kid.
Troy Ave is so, man. He's like one of them
He's like
typical,
a Red Cafe type.
Yeah, Red. You know that slew of artists like Red
Cafe's
Cafe.
alright.
I'm alright with Red Cafe.
It's alright.
50, you know, out of that 50 kind of camp. Trying to bring that thuggish, rugged New York style back. You know,
Right, absolutely.
you know, he's of that ilk.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, they're holding him on murder charges because somebody got killed, and another couple people got wounded, and they're saying they got him on tape. You know, pulling out the UAP and firing like 5 shots in the crowd. So
Gotta go.
yeah, he's done. I mean, you know, they don't play in New York. He's gonna do time.
Yeah, if you
They went in this van and found like 5 guns, one of which they got the ballistics check matches the gun that was. He's done. He's done. He ain't gonna see the light of day for about 12, 15. If it goes down the way, if he can't prove he's innocent or nothing. With that, and then finally that story that's been laying around for a couple weeks, we talking about trying to reduce the prison thing. That's the full circle to me. That's what.
I'm about to say that might be too much. Like,
You want to leave that alone? Just talk about the Troy Ave joint?
as we go.
Let him
off
go
on
and
that,
then do that.
We'll go off. We'll talk about that. Go into that, and then maybe.
Then I wanted to talk about the gorilla thing.
The
Who's
gorilla
that
thing is
for?
crazy.
Bro,
Who's that for?
Oh, the
Gorilla
gorilla
thing.
thing is
I like the
crazy.
gorilla thing.
The
That's
gorilla
speaking
is
of-
with these PETA people,
Yeah.
these animals, these
You're more worried about the gorilla than the
quote,
kid.
white folks. These folks.
Yeah, that's what I want to. Exactly.
The kid was black.
Yes.
Yeah, he's black.
Yes.
He's black.
They were about to charge the mom.
They're trying to
And they bring the pop up, talking about the pop wasn't even there, talking about his criminal charge. He wasn't even at the zoo.
trying to his criminal past.
Yeah, he wasn't even at the zoo.
What do you got to do with it? What do you coerce the woman to
That's hilarious.
That's what, yeah. I didn't know he wasn't there. I
He
thought
wasn't even in the building,
Oh,
dog.
man,
He
come
wasn't even.
That is hilarious.
I wasn't even here. Go see my PO. That's why I couldn't go. I didn't go see the PO.
Yo, after we get off the joint, I gotta either see if I can find this joint
What?
or show you this comedian joint about it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Then on the side note, a fight broke out at Drake's Memorial Day.
Yeah, what's
pool
that
party.
about? What happened with
So
that?
I want to know what the
Chicks
fuck.
in bikinis?
What the all over the place. The scene was
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
You know, Drake and house.
Yeah.
What would have thought? What were your thoughts on the thoughts that were fighting at the time?
Oh, the drones were fighting.
Yeah, the drones were fighting.
I
out
didn't
on
see
tape,
that.
all on like Instagram on the
Yeah, I
gram.
didn't see that.
Boobs all out.
Ass and
Oh, and they're bad. They're like straight video joints too. It's not like it's not like
right.
Onika and Rashana.
Right.
It's like
top
top dollar diamonds, like straight off like a Diddy video shit, like fighting.
Like you said.
I'm going back
you
with Drake
on
first.
My
Exactly.
Video, you came on my
Yeah.
VIP joint.
That's a thought alert.
Hold up. He didn't buy you the Dom P.
Right.
It was a massive thought attack at Drake's pool party.
goodness.
Yes. And the police were called
You
up.
could be like, break it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Yo.
That's grabbing. That's
Come on,
grabbing.
What's
Come on,
hilarious
girl,
is,
come
and that's what they
on.
were doing too. So these two bad Joes started fighting. Titties fell all out of her
Oh
top.
my
And
God.
dude was feeling, he's like, damn, titties all out. He was like, you can hear him in the background. He was like, damn, ass. He was like, whoa, I got to see this on the gram in a couple minutes like that. Like, you can hear him talking in the background. These Jones are rumbling. Dude grabbing him by the boobs.
Oh
Like,
my
stop
God,
fighting.
yeah.
Stop it. Stop fighting. So, yeah, I'm going to throw that question out there probably for last. Say that for last. You got something?
Yeah. Got to pull to the corner. Yeah, got some things.
Let's do it. Ready, Marcus?
Yeah.
You find your joint yet? Hey. I'm a sweat day. I feel like I'm on Mega.
Yeah.
All right, and we are black on WPEB 88.1 FM, the Build and Destroy radio program. Returning after a brief commercial break, we have returned, got into a heated discussion about the validity and necessity of Roots getting remade and, you know, telling our stories and our perseverance and suffrage over the years and how important it is to keep those stories alive for the next generation so they can understand what's going
I
on.
like that word, David. Suffrage.
Thank you. Look that one up.
Suffrage movement.
Suffrage movement. There you
I
go.
like that.
And Derek, I apologize. You were about to go on an epic rant, and I want you to pick up right where you left off.
Yeah.
But you do it how you want to do. You want to go to the corner, or you want to act
Let's
like
go
you
to
want
the
to
corner.
Let's get
go
the
to the
corner
Go
out
to
the
the
way.
corner.
Yeah, you gotta
Let's
get
the corner out the
the
way.
We want to go inside for this
I
one.
can't go
Exactly.
to the corner.
We can't be on the corner.
Nah. We're going to duck for cover.
We're going to be on the corner.
Right.
Because if we stay on the corner, the cops going to come.
Yeah, we don't want the cops to come. So let him get his corner,
Yes,
the
absolutely.
corner out
Let's
the
get
way.
the corner out the way.
This is the community corner with Derek Gadget. Derek, take it
Absolutely.
away.
Yes. Well, we have focus on hazardous waste collection. If improperly discarded, household products containing toxic chemicals can be a threat to people, pets, and the environment. Never dispose of hazardous materials in the trash as they may harm your sanitation workers or result in collection vehicle fire. It is also unsafe to pour HHW down a sink or drain as it will end up polluting our drinking water. On Saturday, June the 11th, household hazardous waste, which is what HHW stands for, will be collected at the Emergency Services Training Center, located 1700 Calkin Hook Road, Sharon Hill, PA. Electronics and latex paint will not be accepted. That's right off of Southwest. We're going towards Hook Road up there off of 85th. Right at the cusp of a little bit my end of the way, Southwest. Yeah. Right up. Absolutely. You got it. Right turning as you go past 85th, right into to Hook Road. So again, that's Saturday, June 11th. household hazardous waste will be collected at 1700 Calkin Hook Road in Sharon Hill, PA.
That's important.
That's very important.
You don't want to end up out like another Flint crisis.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Protect your drainage.
Yeah, easily. That's very valid.
Fluoride in, nasty chemicals out.
And then we have the Women at the Well Tea Party.
Oh.
The Women at the Well invite you to join them at a tea party
Speaking of drinking,
Sunday, June the 11th, 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. at the YMCA, 1400 North Broad Street. Keynote speaker is Reverend Renee McKenzie of the Church of the Advocate. Special guests and vendors include dance troupe Arch Dream in Technicolor, author Gwen Ragsdale of Peculiar Relationship, and genealogist Tamara C.G. Boggett showing how to explore your family tree. Refreshments will be served. Tickets are $15. For information, contact Bernadette at 267-456-4107 or Joy 267-348-4204 or Tiana 267-290-6510. Again, that's the Women at the Well Tea Party. Great event for our youth and our women to come together for a positive cause.
all right.
And that's the corner.
All right, so get the word out, Snoop. We gotta clear the corner now.
For shizzle. Now it's time to. We about to go off. We're going in
We're going in.
to go off.
We're going in to go off. I like it. There, take it away.
Yeah, it was echoing Marcus' point. It just really, really irks me. Snoop's last time with the whole outrage on. Snoop, can you finish that last one? What was your last point again that was echoing? We were talking about you were saying about it's fine.
Yeah, you don't want to. You want the youth to see a fresher version. You want the youth to have that anger that we had when we saw it in the 70s and come to school or see a white person and not just, not be hateful, but hate the injustices that were brought upon us. But you want that anger to kindle a fire in the right direction.
Absolutely.
That you don't want to be like, well, you know what? These crackers and I'm just going to suck the system dry and stay on welfare, or I'm just going to do this, or I'm just going and you don't take it and say, I'm going to show you that I'm better than what you call. Yes.
It's such a monkey see, monkey do movement, and the overall tenor, it just bothers me. I try to support it. I try to because I'm on page. I'm well aware of the injustices going on in America, Ferguson notwithstanding, and any other place that's been in the news. But your point is so clutch, Snoop. People take this and use it as a reason to continue to have that same outlook, continue to do the same things they did beforehand, only because it won't get no better. So we have to continue to be militant, continue to be counterproductive, because that's the only way to bring life to this movement. We can't bring life to the movement by doing positive. We have to bring life to the movement by anarchy and chaos. And I'm not liking this. There's not enough intelligent discourse, and it hurts me because I want to support the movement. I want to support the positive of the movement. It's not enough highlight of the positive. Even the people that are at the helm of the movement, I'm not seeing intelligence from them. The people that are the main drivers of the movement, David, when I hear them talk on Fox or when I hear them talk on CNN, you're not coming up with any valid points.
It's almost a thing where, like, just to play off what you're saying, Derek, I would almost rather not see these grand gestures and these high grandstanding movements because it doesn't lead to ish.
No,
it doesn't lead to nothing. As empowered and powerful a movement that the Million Man March was, that we all went to, what came of it? What really came? Did you see any powerful change from that? I think I saw some. I think that's the one thing that kind of resonated a little bit in the community.
Some is better than
some is better than
nothing.
But like you said, this thing now,
like
you said, no intelligent discourse coming from it. Like, I don't even know what it's about.
These guys, and they have they're so driven with it, and they have such a strong viewpoint. But at the end of the day, what are you saying? What is the point? What is ultimately to be achieved by this fight? What is the end game here, David? Who's going to be lifted up by this? Who is going to benefit from the Black Lives Movement? Or is it going to be a continual barrier to intelligent discussion on race in America? It doesn't serve any purpose because people that want to talk about race in America, people that want to have a dialogue with Black Americans, are being met by the whole image of Black Lives Matter. Right. It's just I can't even really have intelligence.
Is that image more negative than positive?
It is to me. It is to me. When I drive by 30th Street or when I ride the trolley after it initially had happened, and I'm seeing this dude standing there at 30th Street, standing there with signs with with Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey. He's just standing there with a big placard that says Black Lives Matter. He stands there for hours all day. Just to show people that. Like, what is your point, dude? Like, there are people like, don't all lives matter? Shouldn't all lives matter? And shouldn't it be fair for everyone?
Like, they set themselves up for that counter.
Exactly, David. Exactly. You got people who clown the movement. Well, this life, it minimizes your argument. Because then people with black, they find humor and they clown the movement.
One of the things that I found out, and I got this from our esteemed partner in crime at WPEB, the one and only Uncle Knowledge, Barry Gordon, from his show and speaking with him about this, he informed me that a lot of the people that you see in protests like that, they're like protests for hire. They're not really about the movement. They're not there
when the cameras are off.
And right. They're not there in sincerity. Like a lot of those like marches for Mike Brown and Black Lives Matter, those aren't real people about the movement and the struggle of that message. They're protesters for hire. Like organizations will bring them in, and they'll see a camera, they'll be like, and 5, 4, action. Right. You can't take us, we will fall. They're protesters for hire. Barry told me about that, and he talked about that on his show. About and I think a reason why a lot of the steam has or a lot of wind has not been in the sails for this movement is kind of dying. I think a big part of that is because of those people that you see on TV and a lot of these marches. There's no sincerity behind it. They're just there for a media opportunity because the cameras are on. But when it dies down, they're just walking off and going to get a frappuccino at Starbucks or whatever.
I like to underscore and really show the strength or weakness of a movement by pulling out an individual piece of that movement. Right. Let's talk, my man. Come here for 1 minute. We're on camera. Let's have a discussion. What is your thoughts on the Black Lives Matter? Well, there's a video on YouTube, I think it is, and it shows you, and it underscores my exact point. When you pull individual members out of a mass group, most of the people, like you said, David, they can't really give you a reason why they're protesting. The one guy, he broke down 2 Trump supporters and asked them, what was your thought on that? By the time he got finished with them, they were like, I'm more like Bernie said. They started flip-flopping because the guy broke them down so much. They couldn't even really back up their own assertion that Trump was a viable candidate. And the guy pointed out inconsistencies, shot their arguments down. They were like, well, I'm not a racist and I don't feel like that. And he broke them down. And in mass, they're strong. But individually, talk to them and see what they got to say. They don't got much to say. Like you said, they're opportunists. And there's too much of that to me, and I can't stand it.
I'll say this. The actual rally, the actual march, and all that, that's just to show the strength in numbers, per se, going back to the whole India. But that's just to show the numbers. If you look at, you guys know Verizon was just on strike. There are people protesting, people were picking.
Just shout out to Verizon, yeah.
But there's a mediator, there's a negotiator sitting somewhere. There's an action that correlates with the amount of people.
Yeah.
We can get everybody we know and walk around and say Nikes are the best sneakers. But if we don't go and tell and have all those people actually go buy Nikes, invest in Nike, go over to China and talk to somebody in Nike, it means nothing.
It's a fluid movement.
But Black Lives Matters actually is the second coming of the Black Panther Party. Whereas there was the same thing. There was a lot of things happening that spawned out of a lot of police brutality. But they took an action. They formed when you I don't know how you guys work, how you do at work if you have a meeting or something. You can have a meeting and talk and just expel oxygen all day. But if you don't leave with an action item, like Derek, I need you to do this.
Right.
Dave, I need you to do this. Next week we come. You just sat there and just
blew a bunch
That's
of
what I think. But there you to be on TV and clown yourself and violence and assault on TV cameramen, and then you walk, like you said, Dave. Then you go pick up 340s and go see your baby mom. Right. Your 3 kids, and you have unprotected sex with your 5th baby's mom. At what point do you start taking personal responsibility and see the merit in the movement? Because there is some merit, and that's like you said, people forming together to try to make change. There's merit in that action to come together, to form a group, to enact change. So I clap to that. I clap to anybody, any group coming together to enact change. But if you're going to enact change, it starts with yourself. Everybody's got to start with themselves. Right. You got to take some personal responsibility. So, like my point, Dave, when you were saying about the Million Man March, even if 50 brothers in the thing like we did, we stopped drinking malt liquor. I know me, I stopped drinking malt liquor. Right. Yeah, that was small, but I didn't drink another malt liquor again since then.
That's a good
so I felt that was a change because I saw the way they were marketing in the community, and it illustrated at the march the way these companies and these corporations
taking advantage.
Not so even something like that,
but trying to take
it kind of opened my eyes. I said, wow. So I'm going to stop drinking St. Ives. As much as I love St. Ives, I didn't drink another malt liquor again.
Here's the difference, and here's where the power is not effective. Because you can have 1 million black men in one place, and to me, what it did for me was it showed me that it don't have to be a fight. Somebody don't have to get shot.
It don't have to be a party.
It doesn't have to be a party. We can come on a serious business. We went down there and we party animals. And we said we're not part. This is business this week. We're going to chill. We're going to do this. But when you don't come out of that with an action, you don't have a committee set forth. And I keep saying Black Lives is like Black Panther because the people were getting killed by cops. They were spraying water on people. They were pulling you out of your car for nothing. And they said, you know what? This is what I would like to see Black Lives do. When someone calls, they should have a hotline. Say, is this the Black Lives Matters? Yeah, I just got pulled over by a cop for smoking a cigarette, and they're, can I get a representative at the courthouse? Can I get someone from the media? Can I get someone to come and be looking out for my best interest? Because that's what the Black Panthers did. They were like, oh, the cops are coming to your house because it's a drug raid. All right, well, we're going to be there too. It's not going to, nothing's going to get out of hand. Because we're going to be here too. Yeah, but just a march. Yeah. Just to make a speech. Just to put a pamphlet out. There's no power in that. That's the catalyst.
The truth
started.
There's no power in that. But like you said, it's not about numbers. It starts within one person, and one person's change, whatever that may be, is what sparks a change, and then it gets infectious and it spreads. But it has to be an action step, like you said. One person that doesn't get it, who didn't follow an action step, is the rapper Troy Ave up in New York last week.
He didn't follow that.
He didn't follow any action step. And what we're talking about is at a recent concert that was scheduled to occur last Tuesday, May 25th, I believe. T.I. was scheduled to appear. Big concert with many acts performing at Irving Plaza in New York. The concert was cut short as gunfire erupted in the crowd. One person was killed, another was wounded, several others were wounded, and they are currently bringing Troy Ave, the rapper, who was scheduled to appear, real name Roland Collins. He's facing several charges, most notably attempted murder, which may soon be turned to a murder charge pending what the investigators find. He's being held without bail right now in New York. So Troy Ave is a rapper. You guys were asking me in the commercial break, who is Troy? And I'm really up on his music. I'm trying to think of the songs you would know. I don't know. I listen to a lot of New York hip hop. So Troy is big New York rapper on the same level as like a Meek.
Yeah.
Or like some of the other up and coming rappers out of Philly.
Yeah.
Troy is on the independent. He's one of the bigger independent artists out there right now. Trying to bring that authentic New York sound back and whatnot. So he was scheduled to appear at this show, but. Spinning back to what we talked about with the mentalities and stuff that our youth need to be, cognizant of, that stem from roots and slavery and how people thought, and that anger you talked about, Mark, that we need to have. The comments that came from New York's commissioner, the police commissioner, in lieu of the events that happened at Irving Plaza and at the T.I. concert, I'm going to read a quote of what his comments were about the events that have happened, and also some other events that have happened up in New York over the last several months involving rappers. The crazy world of these so-called rap artists, who are basically thugs, that basically celebrate violence they did all their lives, and unfortunately that violence oftentimes manifests itself during their performances. And that's exactly what happened last evening. This is a quote from New York Commissioner Mr. Broughton. I don't have his first name right now. He also added, we should be able to wrap it up very quickly. So he just, one incident happens, he makes a blanket statement about all rappers are thugs, and all they do is portray violence and, manifest that in their shows, and that's why shootings happen, and that's why I want to lock them all up, and rappers ain't ish basically in New York. This is from the police commissioner. So that shows the bias that he has already. And they already talk about in New York, they have a secret force of police called the hip hop police that follow hip hop happening. That's real. The hip hop police is real.
That's definitely real.
So this is their police commissioner speaking out on it and having some very biased, i.e. racist comments about how he feels. He obviously hasn't listened to a Talib Kweli or a Drake album or whatever, because last I checked, these guys weren't thugs. Or a number of other rappers. Never watched the episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or Queen Latifah. Who you calling a bitch? UNITY, Mr. Commissioner. So pretty wild. This is coming not just from a random cop. This is the head cop in New York.
Yeah.
So, needs to say, like I said, Troy Ave is being held on shooting gun charges. If you know anything about guns in New York, that is a bad combination. Ask Remy Ma about that. Ask Slick Rick. Ask Lil Wayne. Ask Plaxico Burress. It's crazy. So Troy Ave is facing some major time. I'd venture to say that his rap career is probably pretty much going to be over at this point. I mean,
you reap what you sell, tough guy.
Oh man,
I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah, so reading dribbles and bits are coming in about this incident that happened at T.I. never got a chance to take the stage. He was backstage, so of course he had nothing to do with it. Right. The argument stemmed in the VIP room, the green room behind stage. Something happened back there. They have Troy Ave on camera firing at least 5 shots from a gun that was later recovered in a touring van. Along with like 5 other firearms that he had illegally. The gunshot wound, he suffered a superficial wound in the melee. Turns out he shot himself in the leg. And the ballistics that they ran on a gun that he fired on himself and he fired into the crowd were the same ballistics that match up to one of the victims that got shot. So he's in a lot of trouble. He's being, again, held without bail. He was in the hospital treated for the gun wound. They released him from the hospital. They put him in handcuffs in his wheelchair and wheeled him into the courthouse to face his charges. So, we talk about attitudes and things that permeate in our community where people don't follow some of these movements that are going on.
The quote from the commissioner, you don't think that has any merit?
About what he's saying?
About
I actually think it does.
Celebrating violence.
I hate to say that.
Wow. I mean, I never heard the guy's music, But
Troy Ave is a Stone Cold Thug.
I would venture to say I was gonna say I never heard his
He
music.
manifested his own music
I would
in that incident.
venture to say that he talks about a lot of gunplay, a lot of drug trafficking.
He talks about it on stage, like he
Exactly.
glorifies it on stage.
I mean,
like
T.I.
I watched him in a couple.
I love T.I. T.I. talks
That life.
glorifies violence.
Yeah, and some of his more
gunplay,
thuggier stuff. Yeah,
drug
they
trafficking.
speak. They are poets speaking on their
I
experience.
love Talib Kweli. I love the Roots. I like Jadakiss. I like 50. I like all of it. And I was on the ride up here. What's the Fabulous? An old Fabulous song came on, and it just for some reason I was just really intent on the lyrics today because I think Fab is a great lyricist. He must have said, "I put the 4-5 to your head, make you leak." Temple leaking. He must have gave so many references to busting somebody with a cat, and I really think, I really think being in a rap concert that we've all been in, if you're sitting there and you like, yeah, as I put the 4-5 to your head, make the slug lead to the back, and then somebody comes step on your foot and your height, and you hit it. I just think it lends to it a little bit. It's not the end all or be all. I'm not necessarily going to shoot.
What we got? Rap concerts are fueled by drugs and weed and Henny and guns snuck in.
Mr. Brown.
And this Trump, this BAN.
I think he made a blanket.
I'm from 120,
but
I don't like some people from 59.
Exactly.
It's just everything is. The whole mix, it's a
Everything
deadly
is
mix.
charged.
It's a deadly potion.
And I think all three of us being,
very incendiary.
I think all three of us being real hip hop heads, we can appreciate it for what it is.
It's just one segment of the
It's
music,
just one segment
which we all know. But the thing is, like the main indictment on the commissioner of the police making a statement like that, he made a blanket statement. That's what wrong with all these rappers.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the danger of
That's
that.
That's why I say I think
There is a slice of truth. There's a slice of
There's
truth, but it's no more of a truth in hip hop than it is in rock and roll. When you have an artist like Glenn Danzig that talks about satanic rituals and sodomy against women and the different sadomasochistic things he talks about, he doesn't get a detail of police following him around in his black Porsche. It's just artistry. But when a rapper does it, takes on different. Now the difference I will say is this. We have a lot more ills that follow us in our community, which brings it heightens things, like Derek said, as a deadly potion. That you have to be careful how you weave that out to the masses.
We talked about this one episode too, about the acceptableness of things in the culture and the government.
Right.
You have the right to be a certain worshiper. But when you say I moved the product from 25th to 125th to up to the east side, and somebody hears that, and you're giving true actual facts, I wasn't alive till I was riding shotgun Cloud Green 5. That's an actual story of a shooting that happened. So I need to check you out, and I need to follow you around, and you moving product, and you're
in other words, if you say if you want to slice a goat's neck, that's all right.
Exactly.
If you want to push white, that's an issue.
Ozzy Osbourne and Alice Cooper can bite bats' heads off and everything else. But the reason why I brought the artist, I don't know if you are familiar with the artist Glenn Danzig.
Glenn Danzig, very
Danzig was involved in a murder thing a couple years ago, and his lyrics came to question. Very similar to how this was. Because he always talks, he's like in the S&M and bondage and devil worshiping and all that stuff. And I think one of his fans or something got killed.
Right.
Which was very in a very ritualistic manner to which his songs were about. So they pulled him in, and it turns out he had an affair with the chick, and she turned up dead. So it got serious, but he didn't get charged with anything. He beat the charges. He proved his innocence. I wonder if that was a lyric like we're talking about in the hip hop, and we've seen this where you talk about shootings and stuff else. How many rappers have been?
The charge?
Yeah,
Snoopy the charge.
Yeah, there's a couple cats that put stuff in their lyrics. They try to use it. They try to enter. Cassie did not beat the charge. He did time.
Okay.
Yeah, where they use the lyrics, they enter them as evidence. The lyrics, and I don't even know if that's fair or something.
I know this for a fact. If you concentrate and meditate on something and say it over and over and
energy.
over and over
positive
again,
and negative
it's
energy,
gonna come
you will bring it to fruition.
It's gonna come. So when that's your You know, I mean, I know myself.
Look at Biggie and Pac.
Yes.
Biggie and Pac foresaw their deaths.
I know myself.
Many a lyric ago, and
I would like
came
to
fruition.
ask you guys. I mean, if I get into a real gangster hip hop mode and I'm on that mode for a couple of weeks, I can get edgy.
Yeah, it can make you edgy.
And I'm ready to I'm ready to.
It's just a
cop
negative
the
comment.
nine.
You can't go get some General Tso's the Chinese for you ice gulling boy.
Exactly.
It's just your whole mental.
Exactly.
Right.
It's
You
already
change your
prepared.
whole-
That's the
You go and get all.
And it's
Don't go
legitimate.
getting all old
It's
dogs
all
on
man.
it.
It's legitimate.
Preach,
Yeah, you-
preach,
All I'm
preach.
saying is that it's just
Preach,
it has
preach.
some
Yeah.
legitimacy to it.
Very
And I
much
remember
it
being,
does.
I remember
It's your
being
spirit.
a
It's your
young
spirit.
boy.
It's your spirit.
Exactly.
It's your
was that?
spirit.
It's
It's your
your
spirit, dude.
You
it's the
conjure
same
that
way.
spirit up.
Yes, indeed. Exactly. And that's
Conjure
with
it up.
any kind of music.
Any kind of, yeah.
Overtly sexual music.
Yes.
Overtly
Yes.
violent music.
Right.
It's your
even
spirit,
if you
yo.
get on
It's
your-
like-
even if you get
you
on the
listen to
right,
that kind
if
of
you get on the
nonsense.
right reggae vibe and you talk about legalizing it and you get on some roster, you be wanting to split. You be wanting to split.
So you're saying
you be
saying
wanting to split.
if I listen to too much Buju, I'm just gonna be high. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
you
liking it.
know.
Like,
You'll be
yeah.
like, you know what?
Exactly, right.
Secondhand lyrics.
Right.
Even in,
Beware
even in,
secondhand
even
lyrics.
in hip hop, the romance with the weed,
Right,
and it's
right,
like
right.
you ready to bust a cap, smoke a spliff, get some joints, pour your Don P all over them,
Right.
ride with your top down, or the top that don't even come
Right.
down,
Right.
like it just becomes.
See, now,
How
You're
many kids
saying-
are introduced to lean and all that through rap lyrics? Kids who don't know what lean is
Right.
keep turning Wayne
They're
and talk
introduced
lean.
to it now.
Lean. They try lean, now
They're
they're
gonna look for it.
That's just deadly,
Yeah,
man.
it's deadly.
That's just deadly. Man.
I
That's
mean,
bad.
and we're talking about this at we're pushing Dan at 50 years old,
Yeah.
40 something years old. If that
And
does
they-
that, imagine how it's going to be for a 17,
Exactly.
impressionable 16, 15,
Well,
17.
how much of the
who
impression
live that life, who try to live that
No,
lifestyle,
but we were-
and are
we were-
inundated by that imagery day in and day
We
out.
went through that. How
Right, we
much?
went through
How
that.
much impression did Public Enemy have on us? Public Enemy had us wearing black medallions, fight the power, listening to Farrakhan. Like, I mean, Public Enemy was that movie.
But it put a good seed
It
in
put-
our
no,
heart.
it was a
So
good
even
seed.
now
It was a good seed.
we're black aware.
Right.
We are black. We even in our age now. We're more culturally aware thanks to Public Enemy.
Right.
Thanks to
Thanks to
Jungle
Public Enemy.
Brothers.
But I'll tell
thanks
you
to
this.
these cats. You got
Oh,
culture.
yeah.
But I'll tell you this.
And
So do your
that's
hip-hop.
still- and
Thanks-
that's still out
Wise
there.
Intelligent.
Those
Chris.
groups are still
Those
out
that,
there.
But they gave us our cultural
Yeah.
awareness.
Those
Chris
groups
did.
are still out
Wise
there.
Intelligent did. I know that, Snoop.
Yes, and
You
those
know
groups,
that.
Those groups are still out there.
Yeah.
But they're not part of the machine. They're not going to get.
And I like
they're
that.
not-
I like
they don't
that.
got the full
They-
machine
they-
behind
But
it.
they don't
But
want.
when
They
they
don't
did-
want the machine either, David. They
Right.
don't want the machine.
But when they did, they influenced. I'll give you a good example. When I first got out of Millersville, I was a hip hop head, 24/7.
Well, we was in the 90s.
Yeah, Biggie, everything. And when I got my first job, I wasn't crazy about it. I was working for Wade Cable. And it took someone to pull me aside like a manager I was cool with, but I was coming to work like on Saturday, Saturdays, I didn't want to be there, I didn't want to work. I was coming with a bandana wrapped around my head. I had my con art vest on with like a duck down t-shirt underneath. My jeans were baggy. And a manager pulled me aside there like, yo, like it's cool. I know you're about that life, the hip hop, but you might want to lose that bandana in the building because you might scare somebody. You looking like one of Biggie's background dancers or something like. And I was like, yo, it's just stop.
The point is.
But yeah,
all
I see it.
all
But I was
music is
influenced. I was influenced.
To some degree,
The
I
culture,
like that.
the culture as a whole.
I prefer letting the positive influence me.
Yeah.
I like the
of
positive.
course.
But I mean,
that's what I prefer.
Which
Which is why I don't really parry much the gun talk. I don't listen to a lot of the artists, even that I like Kiss and all this. They still talking gun talk, and it gets irksome after a while. I'm just not trying to hear. I love your music,
Right.
but to me, Fab talking gun talk is like, man, dude, you're a pop artist. You're dope, but you're Fab. I don't see Fab. I mean, Fab's a hell of a lyricist. Don't get me wrong.
Well,
I'm just saying, Fab's a pretty boy. I don't look at Fab as a thug. Fab's like, Fab's that boy. He's got pop, he got street cred and pop cred. I mean, yes, I'm saying, but I don't see Fab don't strike me.
He's not
a hard.
I mean, and you don't
he's
have
street
to
credit.
be.
He's not a clown.
You don't have to be the hardest cat, but just like you said, it's like you're no different from a screenwriter. You're no different from a rock star.
Right.
You're no different from a poet, an illustrator, a novelist. You are a street novelist, and you are telling tales about not necessarily what you did, but what you see in the streets.
But
that's all you are. You're a narrator. You're an illustrator.
You're right, and I'll tell you
and some are better than most.
This is why I think one of the dopest MCs out is Reek. Is Black Thought.
Okay.
Because his perspective.
He's an ultra talent.
No. Listen, let me tell you why.
Okay.
Let me tell you why.
All right, good.
Because he, if you listen to his music on the surface, you'll be like, you may think he's a gangster rapper because he talks about guns, killings, drugs, but he always talks about it from a perspective of what he's seen. He never interjects himself into it as I'm going to do.
You're saying what I was going to say. There's different levels of this. Tariq is on the level of Edgar Allan Poe and of a screenwriter like Francis Ford Coppola, elite level storytellers. Elite level storytellers. You know, like a Donald Goines. You know, cats that are at the cornerstone.
Transcendent. They're
transcendent storytellers.
They're transcendent. Yeah,
that's no different from the Godfather saga. Nobody called Francis Ford Coppola a gangster because he talked about mobsters getting shot in the face and horses in their bed. You know, that was just great storytelling. So let's not get caught up in the thing about these cats are storytellers. Some are better than most. Like I said, Tariq is transcendent.
No, that's what I said.
But there's other ones on a Troy Ave level that are more face value, and they might be living it a little too close to the story. Their story might be a little too true.
Well, one of the big things in hip hop has always been you talk about it, but do you live it? Right? But do you live it? But the thing is, even if you're the storyteller and you claim to be the storyteller, and you rise to a level of stardom,
you gotta be careful.
People are going to aspire. They're going to look at you and they're going to aspire to be you and be who you are. These young boys, when you on the video and you flossing and you doing this and you coming in the housing joint in the bottom and everybody dapping you up. Yeah. Then you look like the man.
The biggest difference is, like you said, you better be the man, you better look the man. Because, the biggest difference between these different types of griots and storytellers we're talking about, Aesop didn't have to, perpetuate his things in a video and be seen in that light to draw a sense of reality. Those people write their books or do whatever, they leave their art and let the art stand by itself. When a rapper does it, because of the authenticity and the realism, they got to stand behind what they're saying. They're going to be in the video. They're going to have the gear on. And you feel it.
You got that Bentley. You better have that Bentley.
You better have it.
You can't put your Bentley in a video and not own it in real life.
And then park it.
Everything has to be real.
And jump into your Hyundai.
I guess I like it. I do like it. I like it for what it is. I like it when I get a real artist. And I think a lot of times when we talk about artists and stuff, like how we talked about French Montana. Like how Ed said he looks at Fab and just be like, I don't feel it. If I look at French, I'm like, dude, whatever. Like, you're French. No, I mean, and it's not about, I'm just saying, I'm just using it as an example. Yeah. But I mean, when I look at Jada, when I look at the Locks, I appreciate the Locks so much.
I do too.
And like
they're
you
real
said,
cats. They're real cats.
And I don't know that they're necessarily killers or whatever. But I just the lyrical aspect of it and how they do it and how they deliver it, and I think they have enough of it.
And the opportunities that we've seen where they really have been like that, where kids were with Styles in the studio like, son, keep my name out your mouth. And you see like they're really about that, like talking to people.
The Locks will be legendary because they perpetuated what they talk about.
Right.
Who else stepped to Puffy to get their freedom? That's about as gangsters as gonna get. Yeah, they dragged that fight from the street and took it to the radio, and they too many people said they shut Puffy up and made Puffy relinquish on his head. Ain't nobody backing Puff off of nothing. The Locks took that, not now, but the Locks took that battle to him.
Yeah, they did,
and they won.
Yeah, man.
I mean, they'll ever be legends just because of that.
You look at somebody like a Nas. And Nas, interject a little bit. He kind of bring it more from I've seen this perspective, but you know Nas grew up in Queensbridge.
You know he was in it.
You know he's
elite level griotic,
and that's what I'm saying.
level stories.
And those are the ones that you appreciate more than a Red Cafe or a Troy Ave or these cats.
Mid-level, lower level.
They're giving you that shock value, and they're appealing to a certain
gunplay just for gunplay's sake.
It's like, but I like a Beanie Siegel. You know what I mean? And
he lived it a little too hard. He lived it when keeping it real has a tendency to go wrong. Yeah. But there's no other. We got to wrap because we're up against time. But no other story tells what you're talking about. What we've been talking about. What brings it to life is that whole period around the time when Biggie and Pac got killed. You hear different people in the industry that lived through that time, and they said those were dangerous times for real. Because cats were really trying to live it. They were riled up. You know, each side was claiming this and claiming that. Like when I remember, I just remember the energy. I was nowhere near that. I mean, I was trickling in and out of the scene. I was more a fan.
Like you was a
but you felt, listen, I was at Silk City, and when they put Tim Dog, F. Compton came on, you were charged. You were ready to smack. You saw anybody if you had a California Angels cap on, and you might get a smack.
But that's what
So that's serious. It was real.
Though. You had two.
That energy was real.
You had basically Compton or South Central LA, and you had Brooklyn.
Right.
Two places
New York,
you don't want to get caught
Snoop
slipping.
Snoop stepping on the buildings. They took that real personal.
Y'all don't love Death Row? Y'all don't love Snoop Dogg? Y'all don't love Dr. Dre?
You want somebody dancing all in your video, singing all over your thing. Come to Death Row. You know, that was dangerous times, man.
It wasn't, you know.
That was the limit. People started losing their lives over that. That was totally unnecessary.
I mean, you had two real, them cats in Compton was about it. Them cats from the projects in Brooklyn, they was about it.
And at that time, I was traveling to both places pretty frequently. I was in New York a lot. I was in LA a lot. And I could feel both sides. I was like, it's dangerous.
And here's the thing, though. The two front runners of that, Pac was about that life. Pac was, and Biggie was about that life. So they only was around real cats. They could discern the real so their crews were real. They didn't. They had no posers.
It even got to the point. It got so furnished between those two camps, like you talk about. They even had to pull back. And they were like, "Yo, I don't think we knew what we really started."
Exactly.
Like it got so serious. They tried to. The cat's out the bag now. Now you can't take it back. That's why words are so powerful. The words that we say are so powerful on Build and Destroy Radio. Derek, you're a dangerous man when you take the mic.
That's right.
Snoop, I worry for you sometimes with stuff you got to say, my brother. But this is what Build and Destroy Radio is all about. Wielding power respectfully and letting the masses know what it T-I-double is. Every Tuesday from 7 to 9. Building and destroying with the best of them. At this time, we got to sign out, man. This discussion is going to about quarter after 11:30 at this point, and I would have no problem. And then some adult beverages would have to be tuned in.
You tell me about a reggae marathon. How about a Build and Destroy marathon?
How about that?
We couldn't go 3 days straight, just sitting in the building, eating up breakfast, just talking.
I like it.
3 days straight, a Build and Destroy marathon.
Snoop, come into the camera, say what's up to the people like you do every week.
Oh, goodness.
And then Derek, we're going to show off your fresh ink.
Hey, yeah.
As well.
Absolutely.
The tunes.
My reggae-inspired tune. Tat.
Yeah. Gotta let people know that the one and only Mark Bennett is not a fictitious character in a rhyme.
He's real.
He's actually
sponsored.
You'll see that.
By the best pomade in the world.
That's right. Show the tag. Yeah. Give him a tag. Give him a tag. Fresh ink from Derek. That was a major announcement. Now you see the fruition of that major announcement. Tune, man. Listen, we gotta check out, man. Great show tonight. Great discussion. Again, if y'all want to jump in on any of this from 7 to 9 on Tuesday, please feel free to hit us up on social media. Go to the Facebook pages of either Mark, Derek, or myself and leave a comment. We'll read that on the air. If you want to get on the air and call us, you can give us a call at 215-472-0882. This is Build Destroy Radio, signing off. But before we do that, and we hope everybody had a great Memorial Day. Have a great week coming up. And everything that you do, enjoy this beautiful spring and summer-like weather. And remember, you got to do one thing.
You have to,
No
man.
matter what you do,
I don't give a damn.
you've always got to remember to build and destroy.
And destroy. And destroy. More fire! Right!
Good night, everybody. Nothing says stuck in this life. Don't you forget about me. Don't walk on by when you call my name.
That's what came on?
Yes.
Nothing close out of rap beef.
That's what I'm talking about, rap beef. East Coast, West Coast drama.
Little flock of
Little flock of seagulls. Oh, good night, you stream. Hey, look, we're having fun. Good night. Thanks for checking us out, y'all. We'll check you out next week. Build and Destroy Radio on Ustream, ustream.tv. Search Build and Destroy Radio. Good night.